Hello, everyone. It's uh, the Grimdark Painter again, and just following up on the big bust that I've been working on. The last time, if you remember, I did the dipping medium, the wash from Vallejo, and I was curious as how it was going to turn out. Well, here it is. It's a little darker than I wanted, and it's kind of patchy, splotchy. But it does give you a chance to see the beautiful detail on this piece. I mean, as you can see, there's the Celtic knots along the sides, the runes, and all of the different symbolism on the. This is just the backpack, so I'm pretty excited about that. And you can see them; it goes all the way around here at the top, and then the other shoulder pad. It looks pretty good, but it's real splotchy also. But it gives you a chance to see the detail of the nicks and the scratches that they put in it to represent that it was war-torn battle plate. And then this is the one that you really get to see how things have come out. You can really see those wolves and the stars on it. The beautiful work on the chain. I mean, back here you can see the around the neck piece on the armor. It's just amazing detail. And this is what really floors me here, is the detail that you can't pick up until you start putting paint on it. This Celtic knot work. The runes that are in each band of the armor, this is supposed to be segmented armor. And then the little medallions that are going to be holding up the parchment, and more knot work. It's just it just absolutely amazes me the beauty of this piece. Now, like I said, I'm not happy with the way that the wash came out, and so I'm going to try some dry brushing, just try to tone this black down, and but yet keep the detail on it. So I'm going to take my there's a slate gray from Foundry. Now, I don't know if Foundry still produces paint or not, or if this is even the same color that they make now, if they make it. But it is slate gray 32B. That's what this color is. I've had it for quite a while. A lot of my paints are extremely old. They still have beautiful color in them, and I don't like to throw them away until there's absolutely nothing left or it's completely dried out. Now this is just a it's called a scrubber brush. I think I picked up 4 or 5 of these at Walmart for it's like $3. It's the white bristle brush, flat tip, best kind. Flat tip for dry brushing. I have another one here. It's a little harder. It's you can see it's a little bit stiffer compared to this one. And the funny thing is, I actually use this one more, so it's not from use. It's just a different in the material. Both are synthetic. This one has just a finer bristle on it. And so when you do dry brush, you're just going to take a little drop, not that much. I don't know if you can see it or not. I'll try to get it a little bit closer. See if I can get it to focus. You can see there's just a little drop on it, and you're going to take and you're going to just rub it like this. Now, most people are going to say, I know how to dry brush. I know, but this is for folks that are just catching on, just starting out, and we're going to go over some basic things, and we're just trying to tone this black down and still retain that detail. So that's why I'm not going to use a whole lot. And what I find happens, as long as I don't use a whole bunch, I start in the area that I've already done and bring it down into the area that I'm working on. So as you can see, it's kind of toning this gray down. And depending on the brush and how hard you're pressing on it, and that's going to depend on how much paint you're going to get off of it. And as you can see, there is a little bit of variance between this side and this side. So we're going for this gray here. We want it to tone that black down. I don't want it super gray because I do want to keep that darkness to it, but I don't want that splotchy look. So I'm hoping to even this out on the gray by using the gray to hope to even that splotchiness out. And see, I'm just kind of working it in there. It's not, there's really no, when you dry brush, some people say, well, you go, up and down or sideways and sideways. Whatever effect you're looking for, you're going to get just by changing the direction that you're putting your brush in. Now, if I want to catch all of these ribs and leave the black in it, I'm going to go up and down. So, but I want to tone this black down, so I'm going to go with the seam, whereas if I did against the seam, it would just do the tops. But I'm trying to tone that black down, so we're working into the segments to try to get that black into gray. And that's, now I'm going to go up and down on it later on again with a lighter gray, and that's going to catch the highlights that I'm looking for on it. And if you remember how dark it was, well, now you can see, you can still pick out the detail, but now it's got a gray hue to it. And that's really what I want. I want that dark, dirty gray look, not that scabby black look that it had before. So we're just going to keep working it in here, and you can really see it start to come out when we're working on these areas that were really, really dark black, like in back here. You can see it's really, and then on the camera it looks a lot grayer than it is. So, and back here, since it's going to be under, we're just under the backpack, we're going to make sure that there's some gray on it, but we don't want to spend a whole lot of time on something that's actually going to be glued on. So and you can see if I take and just kind of hit highlight areas on it, it loosens or lightens it up even more. And that's what I'm doing. I'm just trying to, because this is, remember, we're just blocking in our colors. I want to get all the colors blocked in before I start doing the actual detail work. Because once we start doing the detail work, that's when it gets what I call the art of miniature painting is actually the art of correction. Because as you're painting, you're going to make mistakes. It happens. You're going to bleed over into another color, or you're going to do an eye, and it's going to, his eyeball is going to end up on the side of his cheek. It happens. Don't let it get to you. It is all about correction, and so that's where, for me, the art of miniature painting is. It's that art of correcting your color mistakes. And I'm trying to get down in here. I don't want to mess up these runes. I wanted you to be able to see them now because they're darker. So I'm going to try to lighten this up a little bit more. Now, I'll do it with a highlight. I'll go back over it with a highlight. So, but I really want those runes to come out. And you can see I've kind of, unfortunately, a couple of them have gotten the gray into them. So I'll have to correct like I was saying, the art of correction. Um, Taking some super thin down wash that I used before and let it flow into it just using a fine tip brush. And when I do that, I will show you, and I'll um, give you an idea of how I thin it out so you can see it. Let's see, I got the little bit lighter gray on it compared to how it looked. So you still got the detail on it, but it's more gray now than it was black. Okay, so that's the torso. Now I've got to do the the shoulder pad here. So it's got a lot of area that's flat, so we can kind of go over it pretty quick. And you can see how that gray really transforms that and gives it that depth of color that you're looking for, that shade. Oh, it's dark inside, but the gray brings out the contrast on it. And with the flat pieces, it's a little harder, especially this one's really splotchy. So, and there's not a lot of detail on it. So, but we want to make sure that those dents and dings that he's had in there, because he's the Primarch, we want to make sure that those stay, because those are, for Space Wolves, would be considered badges of honor. That, you know, yeah, my armor took this beating, but I'm still here, and unless it's going to fundamentally mess up my armor, I'm going to keep that badge, because that was the Orc Warlord, Chaos Warlord, something that was big and bad did that to my armor. So even though I killed the dude or the monster, or and whatever, I'm going to leave that mark in there so they know, or that they will be remembered as part of my saga. That's how my boys work. They're the Space Wolves. That's it. And we want to make sure that we're keeping the tone and the colors. Try to get this to line up here. That we're getting the colors to match. That we're not making one side lighter than the other. So you want to make sure that when you're painting things in separate pieces, you want to make sure that color matches. So you don't do a lot of detail on this one and then mess up this detail so it looks like it's part of two different miniatures. So that's what I've tried to do, is try to match the colors. This side will definitely have more lightening to go and darkening to go in these segments. So that's how it's looking. You can see it's pretty close. I mean, it's still a little splotchy, but I think with the gray over it, it kind of gives it a little bit of a war-torn look to it. I don't know. Let me know what you think. I like it. I love this model. This piece is just gorgeous to me. So, and now we're going to do the backpack. Now the backpack's the one I had the worst problem with. That I really made me want to go back over this. So you see how splotchy this is across here and across the top. It is just really. I'm just really not happy with the way it looks. So it was the first one to dry and the first one I looked at, and then as I watched it dry, the paint pull away from itself, it made me keep an eye on the other pieces that I had done. So I'm going to go back over it, and we're going to try and get this so it's not as splotchy, and the paint looking like it did. I was really unhappy with it. So, and you can see that gray pulling through there and kind of help covering up those splotches that it got. I'm trying to keep the dark in the recesses, but get rid of that splotchiness on the top. Now this is going to get other colors on it. I don't think it's just going to be gray on the back here. So that's looking better. The light makes it look really shiny, and it's really not that shiny. I think it's just this particular day bulb, because everything I've got that's matte finished underneath of it looks shiny. So it brings out the color, that's for sure, but it makes things look a little bit shinier than they really are in real life. So I'm just going to keep trying to get that splotchy black covered up and put gray in its place. So to keep going here, make sure that I get all the pieces that need to be gray. And see, it's separated down in here. I don't know if you can see this. You see those lighter areas? That's actually that super light gray primer that I was using. So I'm going to have to go back in and try and darken it up. Try to match the color using that wash and a super fine brush to get in there and cover that up, because we don't want that white showing through against either the black or the gray, because I mean it's really noticeable when you look at it and you're like, oh wow, that's it almost looks white against the darker ink wash black and the gray. And honestly, usually I've used this technique, that particular Vallejo wash before, and I've been real happy with the result. And it just took a light dry brush to go over it with another gray that I have for my smaller figures, and I've been real happy with it. This is, I think it's just the size of the piece and the amount of flat spots on it that really made it as splotchy as it was. But you know, every piece is a learning experience, and I haven't done a Space Marine bust, you know, this size. I've got a 54mm figure, but even that's smaller than this piece. So if you look at every piece as a learning experience, and every time that you try something new, you learn something. And that's what it's about, is learning new techniques. I mean, that's why you're listening to me ramble, is try to learn something new that maybe you hadn't thought of, or maybe somebody had told you how to do it, but they never really showed you, so you're struggling with it. And I do the same thing. That's why I'm doing this, so I can improve my skill and have people, you know, maybe learn from my mistakes, or if they ask a question, you know, maybe I can answer it. I can only try. So I'm not Yoda. There is no try, only do. Well, you got to try it before you can do it. So that's what we're doing. We're trying it, and if my stuff helps, hey, great. maybe just, pass that information on to somebody else. That's the important thing, is to do this as a hobby. Enjoy what you're doing. If you want to make a business out of it, make a business out of it. But remember that if you learn something from me and you sell that information, you're really doing yourself and me a disfavor by taking something that you get for free and that was given to you for free and then charging for it. I find that extremely annoying. Um, it's a hobby. Have fun with it. Share the experience. Don't be one of those people who say, oh, I did this and this and this, and not give credit where credit's due. It's like when you have your favorite teacher in school. Oh, well, Mr. So-and-so taught me that. You have no problems with that. But if you learn something and you're like, oh, that's really great. Oh, thanks. You never say thank you. I learned that from Bob over there, or from Joe over there. And I'm going to be honest, I'm guilty of it too. I've done it. And then I always try to say, oh, I actually learned that from this person. Because it's the right thing to do. And God knows in our world right now, more people need to do the right thing. So that's all I've got for these 3 pieces today. It's a pretty quick one. I've got to go back and look and see what colors that I want to put on him. Do I want to move up to the highlight stage and then go back, or do I just want to block in the colors on all of this beautiful work? Well, not work. More than likely it's going to be dry brushed. I don't think I can trace this smoothly. I'm going to try in front of you guys, in front of the camera, to see if it can be done. And then you'll get to see if I'm worth following or not. But that's the kind of smoothing everything out here. I'll give you a quick preview of what we're talking about with things coming together. Okay, so there's how he's looking so far. All the colors are matching. I'll have to go back through here and put the black back into the ridges, so you can see. If you can't see them, I don't know if you can or not. There's some white spots down here in this area here, down in here. So we want to bring that black back out, bring it up a little bit. The same thing with back here. I'm gonna go back in through it and darken that up. But that's what we're looking at so far. I like the way it's coming together. I love the gray has really toned it down, brought a lot of detail back out. So we're just going to keep doing this. I'm going to try to get some more done tomorrow, maybe later today. I've got to finish up other stuff around the house. So it is a Sunday for me and a Valentine's Day. Whatever. So have a great day. Enjoy your life, be what you're going to be, and come back and see how he turns out. Peace out.